Hello friends, it's Alexis and welcome to my mid-year reading journal flip through. Jumping right into it, if you are interested in all at watching me set this up at the beginning of the year, I will have that video linked below, but this is just going to be a quick flip through showing you everything I've filled out so far in 2025 from January until the end of June. And then later at the end of the year or probably beginning of 2026, I will show you the second half of the journal. I'm very excited to show you the progress so far. I think it's turning out really cute. So first of all, this is an Archer and Olive notebook. I always use their notebooks for my reading journals. This specific one is sold out. It was part of their Halloween collection, but I will have their website linked below. I always try to go with a general theme for my reading journal each year. This year the theme obviously was a coffee shop, so I drew my own coffee shop on the front. Here is a page that I will not be filling out until the end of the year. This is where I'm going to put my favorite book of the year and then my top 2 through 9. And now getting into the first pages I have actually filled out. This is my 2025 in review. This is every single month of the year I do my stats. I track the number of books, the pages I read physically, the hours I listened to in audiobooks, and then I break it down into how many physical books, audiobooks, ebooks, and then I break those down into how many books came off of my owned TBR, how many books I got from the library, and other. So here are my first 6 months worth of stats. And then at the bottom, at the end of the year, I will fill in the grand totals for everything. Next up, we have more stats. These beginning pages are really just my 2025 stats. So starting out on the left, we have my goals. My number one goal this year has been to read down my physical TBR. I am very slowly making progress in that. Going into 2025, I had 243 books. I have now gotten it down to 190, but this is not counting books that I've purchased this year. So I really don't think I'm going to hit my goal of 100 by the end of the year. That is very ambitious to think I'm going to read 90 more books, but I'm just going to do my best. Goal number 2 was to read more sci-fi. I have been making very good progress in that. I only have one more to go to reach my goal of 5. I also want to read 10 nonfiction books this year. Could be doing better, but not totally impossible to finish by the end of the year. Finish 5 manga series. I have not made a big dent in this at all. I've only finished 1 so 5, so 4 more to go there. And then a goal that I really haven't put any effort into tracking or figuring out how I'm doing. I really wanted to read books the month I bought them this year. And just like knowing what I've been reading, this has not been happening, but I would like to go back and try and figure out the numbers to see exactly how many books I have read the month I bought them, but I really don't know if it's going to be 15 by the end of the year. Moving over to the right side of the page, this is just my completed tracker. So any day I finish a book, I color in this square, and the colors are based on the format I read the book in. So brown is if I read it physically, the lighter pink is an audiobook, the tannish cream color is an ebook, and then the darker pink is a tandem read. So I did some sort of combination of the 3. Next, we have my big running list of every book I've read so far this year. And I have made it to 84 books as of August 12th. So a little more than halfway through the year, still plenty of pages to go. This is another big stat tracker. Left side is for the genres that I'm reading, and then the right side is just specific things about the book. I'll show you more detail, but let's start on the left side. Just listed these out alphabetically, and I only picked genres that I read. And then I also determined how big to make the squares based on how much I know I read that category. So obviously horror is going to be my biggest, and something like classics or nonfiction are going to be the smallest categories. On the right side, just more things I like to track. So how many BIPOC authors I've read, 500 plus page books, if it has LGBTQ plus rep, if I owned it, so on my own TBR, if I got it from the library or if I bought it in 2025, own voices, and then how many 5-star reads I've had. And then these are all also color coded. So the darkest pink is a 5-star book, lighter pink is 4 stars, tan is 3, brown is 2 stars, and dark brown is 1 star. Here are always the most embarrassing pages every time I do a reading journal flip through, because this is my physical TBR and these are all the books I've read off of it. I wish this was more filled in, but when we flip the page, at least this page looks better. Kind of. Yeah, definitely still have a lot of work and a long way to go, which brings me to my shelf reduction page. So this is where I've been tracking how many books I read each month off of my physical TBR, how many books I've bought. Yeah, let's not talk about April. How many books I've unhauled, and then the total after we figure out that math. At the end of July, I was sitting at 235 owned unread books. So since this is including the number of books I've bought this year, the number doesn't look too great considering I started at 243, so I've barely made a real dent. Next up, we have my series tracker, another thing I haven't made a huge dent in. I have only finished 1 series so far, and then these are the series I have added on in 2025. These pages are exciting. This is to track my book club, the Quarterly Classics Book Club. The Discord link is in my description always if you're ever interested in joining, but every quarter of the year we read a classic book together. In quarter 1 we read Little Women, quarter 2 was Wuthering Heights, and then quarter 3 we're currently reading The Tenant of Wildfell Hall. I just wanted a really cute spread to track the books that I'm reading for my book club, since this is my first time ever running a book club and I really like how it turned out, and then just putting in my thoughts about the book or how the book club went that month. Here we get into some other book clubs and challenges I'm a part of. So these 2 pages are my Jan Agaton book clubs. We have her public book club, the Full Moon book club on the left here, and I've done pretty good. I have finished 5 of the books so far through August. I am still in the middle of Witchcraft for Wayward Girls, even though I started it back in February. I am very interested in reading Sky Daddy. I just haven't gotten it to it yet. And then I DNF'd 1 book. And then on this side, I have her Patreon exclusive book club called the Lair Bloody Reads. And again, I have done pretty good keeping up the book club. It helps that 3 of these books I read prior to 2025. And then I have the 3 books that I have not read yet. Next page, I have my Literally Dead book club. This is another one where I've done okay. I've read 4 out of the now 8 books. These are definitely things that if I have the time, I do want to go back and read all of the books for these book clubs. I am really interested in all of the picks. It's more just that because I'm trying so hard to focus on my physical TBR this year, if I don't own one of these books physically, I'm way less likely or inclined to pick it up. So we'll see if by the end of the year I'm able to get to these. And the same goes for this next page, my 12 Recs by 12 Friends. These books I am determined to finish because my friends took the time to recommend them to me, and just like everything else, I want to read these books. It's just a matter of prioritizing them. So I have plans for the second half of the year. I'm going to start a vlog series where I will try to read 3 of these in each vlog. So far, I have only read 3 out of the 12, but like I said, I'm determined to at least finish these by the end of the year. Next up are my Books and Lala challenge pages. So on the left, we have the Buzzword Reading Challenge, and on the right, new for 2025, is the Buzzword Book Cover Challenge. I feel like these are pretty self-explanatory. This one, you have a set of words or themes that you have to find like in the title of the book, like something to do with water. So I read Death on the Nile by Agatha Christie because the Nile River. And on this side, you have to find items on the actual cover. So for a pattern, the pomegranate seeds, you get the idea. So for these challenges, although there is 1 per month, I am definitely not doing them in the month. I mean, as you can obviously see, I already have October filled out. I am just counting books towards these as I go. So if I read a book with food and drink on the cover, it doesn't have to be November. I'm going to count it because honestly, that's the only way I'm going to be able to finish these challenges, is if I'm a little flexible with the rules. And finally to the end of my yearly pages. First up, I have the Coffin Covers Challenge, another Jan Agaton Patreon exclusive. I know last year I was really bad at participating, so I've been better clearly this year. This is another one that as long as I read a book that matches the prompt, I don't care what month I read it in. So I'm actually doing so good. I only have 3 more prompts to go, and I already have these 2 planned that I know what I want to read. The only one I don't have planned is a book on the cover. And then last up, we have the beautiful horror bingo board created by Wicked Reading. This is another one that I've made okay progress on. I have read 9 books. Yep, I can count. Oh, 10. I missed one. I have read 10 books, but definitely a lot of blank spaces to go. I obviously printed out the covers separately and glued them in, and I wrote in the prompts below with little check boxes so I could mark them off, but still be able to read what the prompt is and what book I read for it. And I actually just printed and put these all in preparation for this video, because a lot like these other challenges, I was kind of just like reading as I went, and if I happened to fulfill a prompt, like yay, it worked out. But I really do feel like these prompts are more specific, that I needed to plan out a TBR in an attempt to finish it this year. So all of these books on here without the check marks are books on my physical TBR. So this will 1, help me with that goal, and 2, help me complete horror bingo. So we'll see. It's pretty ambitious to think I'm going to finish all of these by the end of the year, but also, horror is my favorite genre, and with October coming up, I tend to only read horror during October, so yeah. I'm pretty hopeful, and these are all books I'm super excited for. All right, since that is the end of my yearly stat pages, we are now going to be getting into the monthly pages. These are all setups that I filmed and have videos for. They will be linked below. So for the rest of the video, I'm actually just gonna throw on some background music so you can enjoy while I do my flip through and not talk through spreads that I've already talked through in the past. So if you're interested in a specific month's setup or want to know the supplies that I used, I will have the videos linked below, and I always try to list the supplies in the description of those specific videos. Of course, if I miss anything, please just leave me a comment and I will try to find you a link for something. But I hope you enjoy, and let's get into the monthly pages. that is going to be it for my mid-year reading journal flip through. If you would like to leave me an emoji to let me know you made it this far, our emoji of the video is going to be the pencil. And as always, friends, thank you so much for watching. I hope you read a good book today, and I will see you soon in my next one. Bye!